This session is all about preventing and managing conflict within your organization. We in campus life see conflict happen within orgs all throughout the school year. And so we're hoping that this presentation will help you get ahead of the curve and offer you some tips and tricks to set you and your group members up for success. So, first, I want to talk about tips for proactively preventing conflict. This all starts with establishing and defining roles within your organization. So much conflict occurs as a result of someone just purely not fully understanding what they're meant to be doing. So, at the beginning of every meeting that you have, just take a quick 5 minutes to go around the table as an e-board and affirm what everyone is supposed to be doing and allow folks to ask questions. This can really prevent a lot of conflict and confusion from happening moving forward. It's also really important that you strengthen relationships among organization members. Morale is really important when it comes to leading an organization, and if people are happy and can trust each other, it's less likely that conflict will occur. So think about putting together team building activities. Have one-on-one check-ins, buffer out social time, and show appreciation for your members, even if it's going around the table at the end of a meeting and shouting out folks. A little appreciation can go a long way. It takes so little effort on your part to compliment someone for something great they're doing, and it makes someone feel valued and feel like they belong on your board. It's super important to seek input from others. You want to collaborate with executive board members and general body members to brainstorm ideas for programs and events. Just because you are on the executive board does not mean that you are the only person who has great ideas. And so, by actually asking for other people's input, you'll acknowledge that their voices matter in decision making too. Part of that is also offering and accepting feedback, whether it be from an executive board member or a general body member, whether it be positive or constructive feedback. Taking accountability is extremely important. You are not a perfect student leader. No one is a perfect student leader. We all make mistakes. And so taking accountability when something goes wrong, when something doesn't go as planned, really shows your dedication and your positive leadership qualities and will help the entire group get back in line to keep moving forward. Of course, as obvious as it seems, I always share that you need to communicate. No one can read your mind when you're upset about something, when you're stressed about something, when you're worried about something. You owe it to the other person or people involved to be direct about what is happening and what your needs are in the moment. The longer you wait to confront an issue, the larger it will be. And it's extremely unfair on the receiving end to get feedbacks months after something happened because it doesn't give any time or room for improvement. So don't let a problem explode because you didn't take the proper time to talk about it. So if you can nip things in the bud as soon as they happen, that will create more success for your entire team. I want you to reflect upon your personal values and your leadership approach. Think about how your personal values align and intersect with your organization's mission, vision, and values. Why are you in this leadership role? Why did you want to be a leader of this particular organization? And think about how your personal values align and intersect with your leadership approach, like how you're making decisions and how inclusive you're being. How do people perceive your leadership? These questions are really important to reflect upon because if you're the type of leader who's a go-getter and delegates everything, but doesn't necessarily ask for any input, it can come off in a different way than you might intend. So think about how inclusive you're being with your decision making, how inclusive you're being with your actions, and how inclusive you're being with offering other people room to take on different tasks and grow. And in turn, you'll be perceived as that much stronger and trustworthy of a leader. At the end of the day, I want you to think about what leading with integrity means to you and how you can put forth your best effort to lead with empathy, care, and respect. Bring these questions back to your e-board to discuss as a group. Chatting this through will help prevent conflict in your organization moving forward. But in the event that you do have to actually address conflict, the first step is identifying the issue. Specifically, what is the problem? I want you to think about facts versus feelings. I feel uncomfortable, I feel sad, I feel hurt, I feel disrespected. Those are completely valid feelings, but there must have been some sort of action that came from something or someone that made you feel those things. And so that's what I want you to focus on, those facts. Lean in on the problem. And once you can identify the problem, then it's easier to find and create a solution. If you're approaching someone else who has made you feel upset for one reason or another, make sure to approach that conversation or situation with empathy. You are seeking to understand. So if someone maybe dropped the ball on a responsibility they had, truly ask, hey, I just want to check in on you. I noticed that this thing happened. I first want to make sure, are you okay? How did we get here? Think about the needs that are currently going unaddressed for that person. No one ever wakes up and decides that that's going to be the day when they drop the ball on something. Normally, it's a product of something else that's happening in their life. Maybe there's something in their personal life going on that's quite big. Maybe they didn't get any sleep because they were up studying all night. So think about the needs that are going unaddressed. If you can start to address those external needs, especially if they're willing to share those external needs with you, then you can really move forward with empathy and care. And for that person, also asking their ideal outcome of the situation is important. Sometimes when someone comes to you and they're feeling frustrated over a conflict and they're seeking your advice, sometimes what you might think they want the outcome of the situation to be is completely different from what they actually do want the outcome of the situation to be. Sometimes, really, all they want to do is get it off their chest. But once it's off their chest, they're feeling good. They don't want any further action to take place in the way that you might perceive. It's always good to ask directly. So, thinking about how your actions can actually transform the situation can truly make it better for the other person, for yourself, and for your group. You will have to deal with conflict at some point, even if it's a very, very small conflict. But there's always something to be learned from that situation that will then improve the situation for the next time. And that's something that you can be putting in your transition documents. And it's okay when conflicts happen, right? It's all about how you address them and how you move forward. Certainly, looping in your advisor and SOA is really important when you're addressing conflict, just so that we can all be a support system for you and make sure that it gets handled in a way where you feel comfortable, the other person feels comfortable, and everyone can move forward with care. Of course, centering your wellness and seeking help is extremely important. Normalize asking for help and accept support from those who want to support you. It can be really challenging at times to ask for help and accept support. And sometimes folks are really good at one, but not necessarily the other. But at the end of the day, everyone at Northwestern wants to see you succeed, especially the staff. And we're all here to lend a helping hand in whatever way we can. Time management is really important. As a student leader, it's important to plan ahead, it's important to delegate, and it's surely important to be realistic. Maybe you feel as though you are the best person to take on these five different tasks because you're extremely skilled in these five different areas. But if you have exams and midterms coming up for the next week, you might not be the best person suited for that. And it's really hard if you take on everything yourself and then ultimately can't produce, can't perform, can't put forth the outcome, whatever it may be. So be realistic with yourself as to how much time and capacity you have and delegate out. There's so many people on your team who are wanting to help make feedback a priority, so be open to giving it and receiving it regularly. Like I had mentioned previously, feedback is extremely important, and leaning into your strengths will help you in building confidence in that area. Everyone on your e-board has something special to offer. Taking time to recharge is, of course, important, as is having self-compassion and growth mindset. Again, no one is perfect, not even the staff members at Northwestern. And so having that growth mindset of, maybe this happened, but I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to do things differently next time. At the end of the day, that's the mindset we need to embrace as best we can. Think about campus resources that are available to you. Schedule a meeting with your advisor to proactively connect and build rapport. This will especially help you if you ever need them at some point when it comes to addressing conflict. They'll know who you are, and that way they can better serve you. And of course, campus life is always here to lend a helping hand in whatever way necessary. Keep up the momentum intentionally to build community and character among your organization members. Think about how you want to contribute to and show up for your org in your leadership role, and how you'll role model empathy within your organization. If you have that positive attitude, if you have care for others in your group, at the end of the day, people are going to trust you, people are going to love you, and people are going to see you as a strong support system for them. And when they feel that way, they're going to be excited to be on the e-board. Lastly, I want to leave you with a couple important campus resources. The first is the Office of the Ombudsperson, which provides confidential, consultative support as it pertains to managing conflict. The Office of Community Enrichment also offers workshops, restorative circles, and other mediation resources to support you in whatever challenge you may be navigating. So please also keep these resources at the top of your mind and know that the staff in these offices are certainly wanting to help you too. Thanks so much for watching.